Listen to this carefully, because this message did not reach you by chance. Out of so many people scrolling without thinking, you stopped here for a reason, and before this ends, you may finally understand why someone in your life has been acting far away, confused, quiet, and yet still unable to fully leave you behind. Stay with this. Do not skip. The truth gets deeper in the next part. There is one person, one very real person, who loves you more deeply than you know right now. They think about you when the noise of the day is over. They replay your words in their head. They look for little signs from you without even meaning to. And still, there is one thing that keeps pulling them back from fully stepping closer. It is tied to your appearance in some way. But before fear starts writing stories in your mind, hear this all the way through. This is not about beauty rules. It is not about being perfect. It is not about the false image the world tries to sell every day. It is something more emotional, more hidden, more powerful than that. If you have ever felt like someone pulled away because of how you look, then this is going to hit hard. Because the strange truth is this: the very thing they struggle to face is also the same thing making them fall for you more and more each day. Yes, really. And if you stay until the end, you may start seeing yourself in a completely different light. Because what they feel for you is not shallow, not casual, not easy, and definitely not something they can switch off just because they are scared. This person sees details other people miss. While everyone else notices your smile, they catch the sadness hiding behind it. While others hear you laugh, they hear the tiredness under it too. While people glance at your face for 1 second and move on, this person pays attention like every little detail means something. That is what scares them. Loving you does not feel light to them. It feels risky. You have a presence that brings truth out of people without even trying. You make people face feelings they wanted to keep buried. And the thing they are struggling with is not really about something physical on the surface. It is about what that physical detail seems to reveal. Maybe it is the tired look in your eyes that tells a story. Maybe it is the way you hide pain behind confidence. Maybe it is the small insecurity you think no one notices. They noticed, every bit of it. And it shook something inside them, because they were ready for simple connections, easy conversations, safe emotions, and people they could understand in seconds. Then you showed up, and suddenly nothing felt simple anymore. Stay with me here, because the next part matters. There are nights when they look at your photos longer than they should, not because they are judging you, but because they are trying to understand why your face makes them feel something they cannot explain. One side of them wants to come closer, the other side wants to protect itself. Because your appearance carries honesty, it carries softness, it carries truth. And truth is hard for people who built their whole life behind masks. What they struggle to accept is not that you are flawed. It is that you are real in a world that often feels fake. Think about that. In a time full of filters, performances, fake smiles, fake strength, and fake love, your appearance gives away something genuine, and realness makes people face themselves. That is why this connection feels so intense. That is why they move close, then pull away without warning. That is why their energy changes and leaves you confused. They are not fighting your looks, they are fighting what your looks awaken inside them. If you are tired of feeling like you have to seem perfect just to be loved, keep listening, because the next part explains everything. Every time they look at you, they feel something stronger than control. And one day, very soon, they are going to stop fighting it. The walls they built are already cracking, slowly and quietly, even if they act normal on the outside. Before that moment comes, something is going to happen between you. Maybe a conversation, maybe a glance, maybe a silence that lasts 1 second too long. Something small on the outside, but powerful enough to change the whole energy between you. And when it happens, you will start to understand why they acted this way for so long. They were afraid that loving you would uncover their own insecurities, afraid your honesty would bring their old wounds back to the surface, afraid that someone as real as you would see through them completely. Do not click away now. You are closer to the truth than you think. And what comes next may be the part that stays with you the longest. This person remembers tiny details about you that even you may have forgotten. The way your face changes when you are trying not to cry. The way your eyes move away when something hurts you. The way your expression softens when someone finally understands you. These details stay in their mind, again and again, and they hate how powerless it makes them feel, because they wanted to be in control of everything. But love does not ask permission. It shows up quietly, enters deeply, and changes people before they even know what is happening. Now they are stuck between resisting you and wanting to meet you fully. And here is the part no one expects. The thing they struggle to accept about your appearance is tied to a wound from their own past. You remind them of feelings they buried years ago, not because you did anything wrong, but because your presence wakes up emotions they thought were gone forever. That is why they stare and go silent. That is why they seem overwhelmed around you. It is not rejection, it is fear mixed with love, real love. The kind that shakes people, the kind that changes their energy before they have words for it. And the moment they finally accept what they feel, everything starts shifting. Their silence changes, their actions change, their distance starts losing power. Deep inside they already know something important. They cannot replace you. No one else carries what you carry. No one else makes them feel seen this way. No one else reaches that hidden part of their soul. So even while they struggle, even while they act unsure, their heart is already moving toward you in silence. Stay to the end, because there is still more, and the next part gets even deeper. There is a reason you needed to hear this tonight. Maybe you have spent too much time doubting your worth because of how you look. Maybe you believed love only belongs to people who seem perfect on the outside. But real love does not begin with perfection. It begins with recognition. It begins when one person sees something rare and true in another person and cannot forget it. That is what is happening here. This person sees something unforgettable in you, something they cannot easily explain and cannot easily escape. That is why they keep coming back in their emotions, even when they try to create distance in real life. Your presence stays with them, in silence, in space, in denial. And whether you feel it yet or not, a change has already started. Their resistance is getting weaker. Their feelings are getting stronger. And soon they are going to have to make a choice. Keep hiding from what they feel, or finally admit the truth they have been fighting this whole time. They love you. Not in spite of that one thing about your appearance, but in some strange and beautiful way, because of it. And once that truth fully reaches them, looking away from you will no longer be easy. There is something they have never said out loud, something they hide every time they look at you too long. Keep watching, because this next part explains why they cannot stop thinking about you. Around everyone else they seem calm, in control, unbothered, but when it comes to you everything shifts. Their thoughts get louder, their heart gets restless, their usual balance disappears. And the strangest part is that it all begins with one detail about your appearance they cannot stop returning to in their mind. Not because it pushes them away, but because it pulls them in too deeply. This connection is more intense than you realize. Every time they see you, something inside them changes. They notice the softness in your face when you act like everything is fine. They notice the hidden loneliness behind your confidence. They notice the emotions your appearance reveals without a single word. And that scares them, because now they know this is not simple attraction, it is emotional recognition, the kind that reaches under the surface, the kind that makes moving on almost impossible. There are moments when this person tries to convince themselves that they can let you go. They stay busy, they distract themselves, they talk to other people, they try to act like they are fine. But somehow every road leads back to you. Why? Because your appearance carries a feeling they cannot replace. Not fantasy, not perfection, reality. You feel real to them, and real is rare. What scares people most is not always rejection or distance. Sometimes what scares them most is finding someone who touches their soul for real. That is what happened when they met you. Your presence reached places in them they thought would stay locked forever. Now they cannot escape it no matter how hard they try. Stay with this, because the next part matters more than you think. They remember the first moment they truly noticed you. You may have thought it was ordinary, you may not even remember it clearly. But for them that moment changed something. They saw a sadness, a gentleness, a quiet strength in your appearance, and without warning, their heart became attached. That is why they look at you differently. That is why their eyes hesitate. That is why their energy changes around you even when they say nothing. The thing they struggle to accept is directly connected to how deeply they already care. If they did not love you, none of this would affect them so much. But it does. Every single day. And they are trying so hard to keep it hidden. Sometimes they pull away because your beauty feels too emotional for them to handle. Not beauty in the usual sense. Not the kind that gets praised quickly and forgotten quickly. Emotional beauty. The kind that stays in someone's head after midnight. The kind that returns during silence. The kind that changes a person from the inside. Very soon this person is going to show feelings they have hidden for a long time. Maybe not with a big speech at first. Maybe through a message, a small action, a look they cannot hide, or a moment of honesty they never planned to reveal. But when it happens, you will understand something important. They were never judging how you look. They were fighting their own feelings. They were trying to protect themselves from becoming vulnerable, because deep down they already know you are not like the others. Once someone realizes that, there is no easy way back. They also worry, quietly, that you do not fully see your own worth. They notice how hard you are on yourself. They notice the way you hide insecurity behind a smile. They notice when you pull back because you are scared of being misunderstood. And every time they see that, their feelings grow stronger, because your imperfections do not make you less lovable to them. They make you human, and that humanity makes you unforgettable. Stay with this, because the biggest truth is still ahead, and the next part may explain the silence you have been carrying in your heart. Late at night, when everything is quiet, this person keeps returning to one question: what if I lose them? That thought stays with them more than they admit, because under all the confusion, under all the fear, under all the emotional resistance, their heart has already made its choice. That is why your appearance affects them so deeply. Not because it is wrong, not because it needs fixing, but because it carries honesty they cannot ignore. You remind them that love is not about looking flawless, it is about feeling understood, and you make them feel understood in a way no one else has. The distance between you is not permanent, the silence is not forever, the confusion will not last forever either. A turning point is coming, and when it arrives, they will stop pretending they are untouched by you. They will stop hiding behind emotional walls. They will stop running from what this connection really is. Some people come into your life for a short moment, but others reach a place much deeper, and whether they admit it now or later, you have already become unforgettable to them. The signs are getting too strong for them to ignore. There is someone watching your silence more closely than your words. Someone acting distant while secretly becoming more attached every day. Tonight, the hidden reason behind that behavior is rising to the surface. They have tried everything to control these feelings. They told themselves it was temporary. They said it was all in their head. They tried to choose logic over emotion. But every time they see you, everything they built starts falling apart again. Because there is one thing about your appearance they cannot emotionally escape. And the shocking truth is this: they are afraid that if they fully accept how much you affect them, they will never be able to let you go. That is the secret they have been carrying. Every time you walk into a room, something shifts inside them instantly. It is not even a choice anymore. Their eyes look for you on their own. Their emotions react before their mind can step in. And what hurts them most is knowing you probably do not see any of it. You think they are calm. You think they are fine. But inside, it is chaos. The detail they struggle with in your appearance is deeply tied to vulnerability. Maybe it is the softness in your eyes. Maybe it is the tired expression you carry when life feels heavy. Maybe it is the quiet sadness behind your smile. Whatever it is, it makes them feel protective toward you. And that feeling terrifies them, because caring deeply means risking deep pain too. That is why they go distant sometimes without warning. Not because their feelings disappeared, but because those feelings became too real. There are nights when they replay your conversations over and over. Not the dramatic moments, not the obvious ones, the small ones. The way you looked away while thinking, the way your face changed for 1 second before hiding emotion again, the way your expression said things your words never did. Those moments stayed with them, strongly. And they cannot forget them, because your appearance tells emotional truths without trying, and somehow they hear every one of those truths. That is why they are struggling so much. They were never ready for someone who feels this genuine. Life taught them to expect people who are temporary interest, temporary affection, temporary love. Then you arrived, carrying sincerity in your eyes, and now their heart no longer knows how to protect itself. Keep going, because the next part brings the deepest truth yet. They compare everyone to you without even meaning to. They try talking to other people. They try filling the silence with distractions. But something always feels missing, because no one else carries your emotional presence. No one else makes silence feel full the way you do. No one else leaves such a strong memory behind just by being there. And deep down they know it. That truth is becoming impossible to avoid. But here is the part that changes everything. The thing they struggle to accept about your appearance is the very thing that makes them trust you. Your imperfections make you believable to them. Your natural emotions make you safe to them. Your honesty makes you impossible to forget. In a world full of people pretending to be polished and untouchable, you feel human, real, warm. That is why they keep coming back inside, even when they try to create distance outside. Their soul feels calm around yours, and that calm is powerful. The signs are already showing. Their behavior is changing slowly. Their attention is getting stronger. Their emotional walls are falling piece by piece. And when the truth finally comes out, you will understand all the confusing moments, why they looked at you too long, why they went quiet without warning, why their energy felt so strong around you, why they kept returning emotionally, no matter how much space existed. It was always love, not surface attraction, not passing interest. A deep emotional bond they did not know how to explain. Now they are reaching the point where hiding it hurts more than admitting it. This story is not ending in distance. It is not ending in confusion. It is moving toward truth, toward emotional clarity, toward the moment when they finally stop fighting what their heart already knows, that you became important to them in a way no one else ever has. And once someone reaches that level of attachment, nothing stays the same. Some people enter quietly, but they leave marks on the soul that last. Whether they say it today, tomorrow, or sometime soon, this person already knows one truth they cannot escape. Loving you changed them, more than they expected, more than they planned, more than they know how to admit. They have tried to act normal. They have tried to stay cool. They have tried to make it look like nothing is happening. But when it comes to you, too much is happening inside. Their heart is louder than their pride. Their emotions are stronger than their defenses. Their silence is hiding far more than you think. So if you have been wondering whether the distance meant they did not care, hear this clearly. Distance is sometimes where fear hides, not where love ends. Their struggle was never about your appearance being too little. It was about your presence meaning too much. That is why they freeze. That is why they stare. That is why they leave and then return inside their own heart, again and again. You awaken softness in them. You awaken truth. You awaken the parts they worked hard to shut down, and now those parts refuse to stay asleep. Stay until the final part, because this may be what you needed to hear all along. You were not hard to love. You were not too much. You were not less worthy because of the things you notice in the mirror. The thing you thought might push someone away may actually be the very thing making the right person feel closer to you. Because what they see is not just your face, not just your features, not just your style. They see your story, your strength, your softness, your sadness, your honesty. And once a person feels that level of truth, pretending not to care becomes harder than simply admitting love. So if this message found you tonight, maybe it was meant to remind you of something simple but powerful. Your worth does not shrink because of insecurity. Your beauty does not disappear because life left tiredness in your eyes. Your value is not reduced by the parts of you that feel too real, too emotional, or too honest. In fact, those may be the exact parts that made someone fall for you in the first place. This person is not confused because you are lacking something. They are shaken because you carry something rare, something they cannot fake, something they cannot replace, something that feels like home and truth at the same time. And yes, that is a lot for a guarded heart to accept. But the truth keeps growing, even when they try to outrun it. Their feelings are becoming heavier. Their silence is becoming harder to maintain. Their heart is getting closer to a moment it can no longer avoid. Soon, something will reveal itself. A message, a look, a change in energy, a small opening that says more than a long speech ever could. And when that moment comes, you will understand that they were never fighting you. They were fighting the depth of what they feel when they look at you. So breathe, let this settle, and remember this part especially. What is real may scare people before it heals them, and what is honest may shake people before it comforts them. But in the end, truth has a way of rising, and the truth here is simple. They love you deeply. They are scared because of how deeply, and the one thing they struggle to accept about your appearance may be the same thing that made their heart choose you from the very beginning.